everyone, so this is kind of a weird video to be making. I guess I never thought I would be making a video like this, although I'm sure nobody else is probably writing in their day planner, make a video about epilepsy at some point. So that was a dumb way to start a video. So I've reached this point at which I'm in kind of a weird waiting game type thing with my brain, and I thought I would give you guys an update on what's going on. So to get to why the title is, of course, epilepsy, because I'm sure that's why you're here, and why it has a question mark after it, we kind of have to take a step back. So last month, if you follow my Twitter or my Instagram, you may remember that I had an incident in which I woke up under a gigantic mirror and had no clue how I got there, and it resulted in me being taken to the ER. I was almost to the top of the stairs, and then I felt a pain in my leg, and then I felt very strange. I don't really know how to explain how strange I felt. It was sort of like when you get up too fast and you have like that head rush, but times a million. And I knew something was very wrong, and my first and only real coherent thought that I remember having was, well, first when I felt the pain in my leg, before I felt weird, I thought, oh gosh, I hope I didn't pull my groin because I got a 5K to be running. And then I felt really strange, and I thought, I'm on the stairs and I need to get off of the stairs. So I remember crawling to the top of the stairs. I said this was a TLDR, and now I'm going blow by blow. So I remember crawling to the top of the stairs. I, at some point, bashed my head into the wall and knocked the mirror, which was leaned against the wall like this, up and over on top of me. I woke up, I was disoriented, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I called Gavin, who was not at home and couldn't speak. I was completely devoid of words. I just kept repeating the first syllable of the words I was trying to say over and over and over again. And then when I couldn't get the words out, I just started crying. So Gavin called an ambulance and they took me to the ER. And when I went to the ER, they took all sorts of blood work. We did an EKG. I have a benign arrhythmia, so I think I did a bunch of EKGs because I have a weird old heartbeat. They tested my blood sugar and my potassium levels and my sodium levels, and they tested me to see if I was anemic, and everything came back perfectly normal. So their response was just a vasovagal syncope. For those of you who aren't up in your medical terminology, vasovagal syncopes are fainting spells. Basically, when someone who is freaked out by blood sees blood and they pass out, that's a vasovagal syncope. It's when your body responds to a shock by clamping down on the blood flow to your brain so that your body becomes unconscious, so that you go back to a prone position and you can regain proper blood flow to your brain. So totally harmless, just happens. I'm in a low risk age group for any sort of complications. They listened to my heart a bunch to make sure my arrhythmia was still good, and arrhythmia was still good, whatever. It was still arrhythmic. And anyway, they discharged me. My mom called my neurologist, and I mentioned in the ER that I had a concussion recently, and they said, oh, well, follow up with your neurologist, see if he thinks there's any reason to do any more tests. And my mom called my neurologist while I was in the ER, and he said, well, surely they're doing an EEG or a CT or something to look at her brain. And my mom said, no, actually they've just discharged her. And my neurologist was none too pleased, it was his nurse, was none too pleased and said, okay, well, come right in and we'll take a look. I went into my neurologist's office, and that was on Thursday of that week, and we actually were able to give him an audio recording of what had happened because of our security system. So we were able to determine how long I was unconscious and what sounds and things were happening while I was unconscious, and it was very, very clear from that and some other things that what I had was a seizure. I was unconscious for a vasovagal syncope. As soon as you hit the prone position, you're gonna wake up. I was unconscious for I think a grand total of 4 minutes. There were just a lot of characteristics of what had happened to me that were very clear to my neurologist that they had been a seizure. And the most common seizure disorder is epilepsy. Now, we couldn't for sure say definitely epilepsy, but my neurologist said he felt very confident that that was most likely what we were looking at. So the test that they do to determine what's going on is called an EEG,